right, so there's been a lot of consolidation in the third-party delivery companies, with companies like Uber, Grubhub, all making news along with Postmates. And of course, the idea is, how do you combine all of that maybe into one single search engine? Well, we might have an answer for you. My name is Paul Barron, and this is the Barron Report. Today, we're going to be talking about a company that is doing just that. They're combining search for third-party delivery. And with me today, I've got Mr. Michael DiBenedetto, who is the CEO of FoodBoss. Great to have you, Michael.
Thank you for having me as well.
All right, so Michael, let's get into kind of a little bit about FoodBoss, how it works for some of our operators out there that don't necessarily understand it. Maybe they haven't seen this concept yet. Tell us a little bit about it.
So FoodBoss is a food delivery aggregator that aggregates third-party delivery companies as well as restaurant direct delivery options all into one singular spot. So
Perfect.
In real time, it shows you what the total fees are, delivery time estimates, and menu options for a given restaurant.
Interesting.
And the corresponding delivery services.
So they can't, do they order from there as well, or is it primarily just to see where the fees are ranked based on what's available at the time?
So think of it, a good analogy would be kayak and travel, or SeatGeek and tickets, where you explore what you're looking for, and then we pass you along to our partner site to complete that order.
Okay. So the connection is made kind of like, well, not necessarily like Gas Buddy, which looks at, where all the great gas prices are in times of a hurricane. That comes in handy.
Exactly.
But with this might as well in times of a hurricane. Let's get into how the economics work. Who pays for this? How does it work? Is a consumer paying for this? An operator? A third-party company? Who's on the cash end?
Absolutely. So very similar to Kayak and SeatGeek on the business model, where we charge third-party companies a CPC, or a percentage of the revenue that they make on each order that we pass to them. It is free to consumers. And then in the same vein with restaurant direct options, we charge a CPC, or a percentage of the order, to our restaurant direct partners.
Interesting. With third-party consolidation going on right now, just here recently with the Uber and Postmates deal, how do you see this affecting some of the surfaces in terms of what results up in the app itself? Is this something you guys are welcoming, or do you see new players coming into the market? Your thoughts there?
So one of the very interesting things is that with recent acquisitions, whether it be Postmates or in the past DoorDash to Caviar, these brand names are very strong. So they kind of keep the names intact throughout food delivery. So you're always going to see a Caviar right now, and right now you still see a Postmates. So I think they're going to be independent brands, and the synergies between Uber Eats and Postmates are very strong, to where Postmates has good market share in certain cities and Uber Eats has good market share in others. So they want to keep, in my opinion, they're going to want to keep the brands intact.
So to the consumer, it's almost going to look like there's nothing going on. They're going to be able to see the Postmates delivery fee, an Uber Eats delivery fee, et cetera. With this kind of scenario, so obviously you guys are surfacing the best deals. Are mostly this, when you look at how you're targeting customers to download the app, this is pure cost savings at its finest, I'm assuming that, or is there any additional benefits a consumer might get from the app itself?
So again, I'll go to the analogy with Kayak and SeatGeek, where there's certain people that are going to have cost savings, right? When you search for an airplane ticket, you're going to want to have the cheapest price, but then sometimes you're going to want to have the quickest flight, or seasonality plays into it. So we're seeing delivery time estimates as a factor. We see delivery prices, total fees as a factor. And then we also see menu options, because some delivery services have certain menu items and other delivery services have other menu items.
Interesting. How is the data? So let's say I'm an operator and I've got my own delivery system in my restaurant, I've got drivers, the whole thing. I plug you in through an API into your app, into my delivery system. Do I get anything from you other than just the customer's order?
So we're all front of house. We're the marketing engine. We don't deal with anything logistically. So in the example with third-party delivery companies, we will work with APIs and then show consumers what those total fees and delivery time estimates are in real time.
Yeah.
And then the same thing would happen with Restaurant Direct. And in the case with Restaurant Direct, a lot of these delivery fees and time estimates were built out by online ordering systems such as your Olos, your ChowNows, your Onasis. So we kind of would work with those companies to help the restaurants get visibility on our site. And then we just directly pass that consumer to abc.com/online ordering, and they complete and fill in all the information on that website, whether it is third party or Restaurant Direct.
Yeah, interesting. Have you seen any growth in terms of adoption for consumer, any kind of surge in your app downloads or anything like that during the COVID period? Are people a little bit more budget minded? Kind of curious on what's driving the interest in FoodBoss.
Absolutely. So we were growing pre-pandemic, and during the early parts of the pandemic, March, food delivery contracted. People were panic buying. They went to grocery stores. They were stocking up their fridges and freezers. And during that time, we were actually still continuing to grow at a strong clip because there was such confusion in the marketplace about what restaurants were actually delivering, what restaurants were doing pickup, what their hours were, what the menus looked like. And because we provide those options in real time and give a more complete picture, we're helping consumers and our third party and restaurant partners.
That's cool. I like that because you're exactly right. I think there was a little bit of confusion from the consumer standpoint of where they could go, and what a great solution that can kind of go into. Do you, when you plug in a third-party delivery system, do you guys go to them? You kind of like entice them through it? Is it a sell process for you to go get a third-party onboarded? And if, let's say, for instance, I'm in here in South Florida, where maybe they have some regional companies like a Delivery Dudes. Do you get companies that or consumers that say, "Hey, I'd love to see someone like a Delivery Dudes on the FoodBoss"?
So we get both, right? Companies reach out to us, and we reach out to companies to negotiate deals. The interesting thing that really drives a lot of our partnerships is that we're a strong converting marketing channel for our partners. When you look at the CAC that customers or third-party companies and restaurants are paying on Facebook, Google, Instagram, and different advertising platforms, ours is significantly lower because similar to other aggregators and verticals, we provide a very hungry, eager, motivated customer that filtered through their decision to get to our partner site to fill their order.
Yeah, they're definitely way up the, so to speak, food chain because they're way past the decision process. Now it's ready to eat, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Any kind of innovation that you guys are moving into for pickup, takeout, those kinds of things, where restaurants are offering certain kinds of services that are beyond the delivery fee programs? Anything that you're seeing in terms of trends in that area?
So we're trying to work with third parties and our restaurant partners on making sure all menus are up to date, because during the pandemic, there was a lot of family packages going on. People are now trying to sell booze and stuff like that. So we're figuring out different filters that we can add to really help expedite those processes and keep those margins high.
Yeah. I would say, I'm kind of curious, when you look at the amount of injection of booze and liquor kind of coming into the play, has it surprised you in the growth, or has it been kind of not searched for as much as maybe you anticipated?
I think with everything going on and people being very nervous to go outside and even go to a grocery store, once middle of March to beginning of April happened, I definitely expected surges in interest on booze delivery, food delivery, and all of those things.
Yeah. What kind of trends are you considering and thinking about as you guys develop your app going forward? Obviously, off-premise is still going to be a major part of the industry, I think, for a long time coming. So you guys are in a pretty good niche right now. Do you see any particular trends that are coming down the pipe that could be affecting both you and the industry itself?
So we just continue to focus on, helping our third party and our restaurant partners get really strong, eager, motivated consumers, whether ghost kitchens are involved or new trends emerge. Our main focus is still to drive the customer to our partner site to complete the order. Throughout all these trends, I would say Google, Facebook, Instagram, all the advertising platforms were still a staple and they still have their core competency. So that's our core competency, is to deliver strong, hungry, motivated consumers to our partner site to complete that order.
Yeah. So trend-wise, for discovery of your app outside of the ecosystem, how do you get people to find you?
So we do a variety of online and offline advertisement. And by online, I mean digital ads on Google with SEM, SEO. The interesting thing on our digital play is we're able to articulate a value prop that our partners don't really necessarily have, which is find all options in one place, see real-time information. So that's where consumers are actively searching and discovering us. And then on an offline basis, we do mailers, we're looking at billboards and other things like that.
Yeah. Are you guys doing anything directly with the operators themselves in terms of helping them kind of move to the next level? During the COVID period, we've kind of discovered quickly that FSR, full service restaurants, fine dining for a lot of people, have really been impacted the most, especially in takeout and delivery, because they, in most cases, did not have a real robust program. Are you guys doing anything to help kind of foster those particular categories and segments?
So the restaurants that do reach out to us directly, we facilitate introductions to our third-party partners or our online ordering system partners. One of the great things that we've seen is a lot of these restaurant direct partners are trying to make their digital channel very strong. Yeah. And they're having difficulty figuring out the best way to advertise and gain online visibility. And by coming to FoodBoss, we really help with that. Yeah. If you just think in basic context, you might have one or two third-party apps on your phone and one or two restaurant-branded apps, but you're not going to want to have 12 third-party apps and 15 or 20 restaurant-branded apps. So by becoming that very strong second option for consumers, if they have one favorite restaurant-branded app or third-party, then coming to FoodBoss and seeing all your other options, that gives visibilities to all players involved.
Yeah. How many total users, app users, do you guys have?
So we have a couple 100,000 plus and growing, double digit every month. So we're seeing some good trend lines moving forward.
Mostly here in the U.S., I'm assuming?
Yeah, we're only based in the United States.
US. Right now. Okay. Any plans to go international with some of these other countries, especially in the UK?
Something that we're exploring, but there's still so much market share to obtain domestically that we still want to focus on some core competencies here in the U.S. before we think about global expansion.
Yeah. We saw in some leading up data from our Foodable Labs, I think the last number was 17 million people had engaged in online ordering, which was up significantly. When I say online ordering, I mean third-party delivery ordering, which was up significantly pre-March. So the growth market is definitely there. It's going to be interesting to see how it kind of shakes out with the situation around the cost justification to restaurants. So let's take a look at the restaurant industry itself, of those who are using third party and then those who are trying to develop their own delivery systems and their own online logistics products. Do you see growth in those areas, meaning the self-delivery mechanisms happening in the food service space?
Oh, 100%. That's where we definitely see a lot of trends moving to. Yeah. Think of it in this analogy is with Kayak, right? You have your Grubhub is your Priceline, your Postmates is your Expedia, your DoorDash is your Orbit. But also in that same viewpoint, when you're trying to purchase a ticket, you're going to see what American Airlines is offering directly on their website. So that's what we're showcasing to our restaurant partners is become that American Airlines, become that Delta United option on the kayak exploration page.
Yeah, man, I hope you guys blow up. You need some more users. Get to 1 million or 2 million users. Now you are going to be out there. Every major brand is going to be after you. Any hot spots in the country, or has it been mostly just the urban centers like most third-party delivery traffic?
So the interesting thing that we've seen is, of course, urban markets are major catalysts: Chicago, New York, Miami, LA, Dallas. But when we decide to market into a new city, and it really, from our technology, only takes us 12 to 24 hours to be live in a new city because it's just connecting with some APIs.
Right.
And then we decide to market. We really gained some strong traction because the value props really resonate with consumers in that city. Everyone wants to save money. Everyone wants to save time. Everyone doesn't know which service works with what restaurant, or if the restaurant does delivery themselves as well.
Interesting. Okay, so you definitely know who the cheapest consumers in the country are. You know who's wanting to save the most money. Who are the most value conscious is what we'll call them.
I think every demographic has a valued conscious consumer, especially right now in today's market with such uncertainty on where the next paycheck is going to come. That when people get food delivery, to make sure that they have a safe meal at home, they're always looking to try and get the best deal as possible.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, Michael, we're going to do a lightning round on predictions. I do this sometimes with our guests. And the idea is we're trying to find out if something's going to happen here in the food industry, food service industry, over the next few years. And I want your opinion on these 3 topics. I have 3 items for you here. Uber makes it to critical mass of 20% market share versus their current 3%, which is where they reside now, by 2025. You think that's a possibility?
Yes.
Big growth. So that's huge. That's a huge move if Uber hits that number. Okay, so you heard it right here, guys. Michael Benedetto is now on record saying Uber's going to hit the 20%. All right, number 2 is there will be a new player in delivery logistics. So this would be more of a delivery logistics software as a service product. Not one of them out there yet. Do you think one's coming?
So I'll say this. Yes, I think it's an old player that's coming back. At the same time that Amazon restaurants shut down, they made a huge investments in Deliveroo, and Deliveroo is only international. So I can definitely see something happening where they do a takeaway, where they take over maybe a smaller United States player and set up operations there. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me that simultaneously they shut down restaurants and then make that huge investments in Deliveroo without any U.S. entrance in the mine.
That was definitely an acqui-hire, and that's a good bet. I like that one. All right, last one is a major brand, meaning restaurant brand, creates a new delivery model and technology that disrupts the marketplace. Is it possible? McDonald's, Panera, maybe Sweetgreen, one of those crazy tech guys out there that just comes up with something crazy innovative. You think that's possible?
Not necessarily new, but I think a lot of people are going to follow the Panera model, which they do their own delivery themselves.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be exponentially higher in the years to come, whether it's Sweetgreens, McDonald's, Burger King, any one of these are going to get into that field and follow the Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's model with it.
You know, and really the point around the pizza delivery industry, because there's a lot of technology that has been developed both on logistics, the customer data mining, the address discovery, all those kind of things, tying in mobile, text-based delivery, all those kind of things that really have advanced that industry. I can imagine if you get into a marketplace where the profitability is much better than pizza, someone like a Panera Bread or a Sweetgreen, or even some of these small players like a Modern Market, which I always kind of reference to as these guys have got the wherewithal to really make something very unique and different for delivery. So going to be interesting to watch. The CEO of FoodBoss, Michael Benedetto, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, so all of you, you're listening in over on Spotify, you're thinking, man, I need to get on this show. This is an amazing show. I need to be on it. Well, send us a note. Just send it to producer@foodabletv.com. And if you have a great idea for a guest, maybe you think would be an awesome one, you can hit us up on Twitter @Foodable, and also myself @Paul Barron. And that's the best way to reach out to us for great ideas, for more information right here on the Barron Report. Make sure and catch us on the next episode. We'll catch you next time.